Hi everybody, Laura here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a fun project to share with you using the All My Heart stencil, and this is a newer stencil, came out in the You Are Loved release. It's a smaller 4x4 stencil, so I'm going to make a square card today. It's going to be like 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, just slightly bigger than the stencil. So I'm going to begin. I have a panel, a square 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 panel of Neenah Solar White cardstock, and I'm blending some Distress inks. I started with Wilted Violet, and now I'm on Picked Raspberry. I'm trying to go with a very light pressure. I want this to be a soft, subtle gradient background. I'm going to get more vivid and build up the color when I add my stencil. So it's not quite a rainbow, but it is the makings of a rainbow, which is right up my alley. So we've got Wilted Violet, Picked Raspberry, Spiced Marmalade, and Squeezed Lemonade. And I'm going back and forth in between the colors to get a nice seamless blend. And everyone always asks, how do you get such a smooth blend? And it's a combination of a few things. One is years of practice. 2 is a little bit of luck. 3 is well-seasoned sponges. You see how my sponges are soaked with color from top to bottom. The whole sponge is soaked with color. That's when you get the really good, even results. If you're using new sponges and they're like white, mostly white with a little bit of color on the end, never going to get good results with that. When I have to put on a new sponge, listen, I get frustrated as all get out. It works so much better when you have a lot of ink on your sponge. Now what I'm doing is laying on the All My Heart stencil, and I'm going with the same colors, but I'm just using more pressure, more ink, because I want the hearts to really pop. And so I use my sponges. I'm not like picky with using a certain sponge with a certain ink. If it's a purple sponge, I'll use it with any purple ink I have, even pigment inks, oxide inks, distress inks, I use it. My sponges are really well up. Now, you know, sometimes that might not give you the true color if you're mixing it with all different inks, but that doesn't bother me. As long as it looks good, I don't really care if it's like perfectly true to the ink. You know what I mean? I just need it to look fabulous. And so the more I use the sponge, the better it works. Now I'm going to go over this with this Wendy Vecchi translucent embossing paste. So this looks white, but it's going to dry clear. And it's going to just give these hearts a little va-va-voom. So the big heart in the center is going to get pretty mucky. I'm not concerned about that. That's going to get covered up with my sentiment. I just really want to make the outer heart confetti look fabuloso. So I'm using my little palette knives. I use a smaller one to apply it, and then this long pointy one to smooth it. And then I take my little tweezers and gently pull it off, holding my breath that I got a nice coverage, which I did. Now here's what you have to do. You have to let it sit probably at least an hour, and it dries, and it's like magic. It looks like candy, good enough to eat. Now I wanted to add a sentiment, and I contemplated die cutting that heart in the center. I didn't have the perfect shaped heart, but I've got my nested heart dies by Simon Says Stamp, and I've got one that's pretty similar. So I was going to die cut that right into this panel, but I decided not to do that in fear of damaging my beautiful embossed hearts. I didn't want to flatten it out or damage them, so I decided just to go ahead and die cut a white heart, stamp a sentiment on that. Now I'm using a sentiment from the So Loved stamp set, which is beautiful. It's got these handwritten scripty sentiments to it, and this one says, "You are so loved." I'm stamping that with VersaFine ONYX black ink, and I will pop up this panel, which I trimmed down to 4x4, and so my white card base is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then I also have foam tape on the back of my heart, popping that up, and I added no embellishments because look at those shiny hearts. Those are the star of the show. Now this would be a great Valentine's card, but I think it would be perfect for any time of the year, because any time of the year is great to say you are so loved to someone. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.